Okay. Good morning. Can you hear me well? All right. So let me take you to the year 1967 for a minute. The world is busy with important things such as the Cold War, Elvis Presley getting married, and it also sees the very first commercial medical laser being introduced. This is how it looked. This was a very, of course, important milestone for laser technology, which goes back several decades, even earlier than that. More importantly, was the very beginning of technology in the service of beauty. Fast forward some 55 years from then, today we're witnessing a booming market, countless solutions for every imaginable aesthetic need and desire. So my name is Shachar Abir, and I lead the business development activities of the home use business unit at Pollogen. Pollogen was established in 2006. It's a world leader in RF, radio frequency technologies. It provides products both for professional markets and for consumers. So that is both for dermatologists, estheticians, and so on, and people that buy and use the device for themselves and by themselves. Our home use brand, the Tripolar, is today the #1 anti-aging device worldwide and #3 overall in the home use beauty device category. So today I want to talk a little bit about energy-based technologies and how they work. I want to also talk to you about consumer and industry trends that we identify, why RF is the best fit for home use, and of course to tell you how we managed in Tripolar to create such a great success story. But before we do all that, I want to briefly take you through our very unique and exciting company history. So that laser you just saw at the beginning, it was developed by a company called Coherent, which later on merged with two other companies to form a company named Luminis. Luminis today is a world leader in energy-based, minimally invasive solutions for the aesthetic markets and the ophthalmic market. Luminis also had a surgical business unit until very recently, which was sold to Boston Scientific for more than $1 billion US. In 2015, Luminis acquired our company, Pollogen, and it did so because of our unique capabilities with RF and our ability to sell both for professional markets and for consumers. Okay. So Luminis is a big company with sales in over 100 countries, 1,500 employees, and it's the inventor of many technologies. IPL, for instance, intense pulse laser. This was a technology that today is being used widely for hair removal, for home use products. It was invented by this company. It has more than 140 granted patents and many more pending. And needless to say, everything it does and every product it develops is done according to the highest level industry standards, complying with medical standards and conducting rigorously conducting clinical studies. So all of that was just as a background, just to show you how far back our experience goes and how much we're committed to innovation on one hand and to safety and efficacy on the other hand. So let's move on to talk a little bit about technologies. So there are on the screen just a few examples of the available technologies today, energy-based technologies that actually allows you to perform beauty treatments. They are different from one another in several ways. You have, like, you can see, for example, microcurrent, galvanic current, LED, cooling, and of course RF. So they're different, but basically they're all trying to do the same thing. So what they're trying to do is to create a control damage to the dermis layer of the skin. This way you create a micro injury to that layer, which starts to repair itself and create new tissue with more collagen and more elastin. Some technologies target the epidermis, so that creates exfoliation, oxygenation, and so on. Some technologies target the lower levels of the tissue, like the fat or the muscle. But usually when you talk about pure RF, we're talking about targeting the dermis in order to trigger that extra production of collagen and elastin. So now let's talk a little bit about the market. So we were talking about technology. Let's talk a little bit about the market and try to see how everything connects. So we at POLLOGEN see, we can say, long-term kind of underlying core trend and several what I call the midterm COVID-related trends. So the long-term trend that we see is basically a strong and sustainable growth in demand over the years. We can see these days that beauty treatments, of course, are becoming mainstream. You can say that probably is related to the Instagram and to the place pictures have in our life these days. So we see a constant growth with demand for for the beauty industry as a whole and for beauty devices specifically. And when we talk about the midterm, so there are several things that are related to COVID. For instance, the Zoom effect. This is actually a name that's been given to the phenomena now that people are much more on video conferencing, working remotely, therefore they see themselves, they're much more aware of their appearance, and therefore the demand for beauty treatments is growing. Another thing, it's not really a trend, but kind of a thing, phenomenon, you can say, a maskne. This is acne that is actually appearing on your skin underneath the areas covered by the masks. So it's something that you would never imagine it's going to become an issue, but today it's something that's requiring solution. And the most important thing that we see is a dramatic shift to home use and online. So people, whether it's because of lockdowns, so at the beginning it was because of lockdowns, and because people did not want to go out into public places. They wanted products that could be shipped to them, that they can use at the comfort and safety of their home, and definitely that pushed the demand tremendously. So when it comes to home use, if you're talking about home use, you want to talk about RF, because RF is really a great technology that can maintain its effectiveness and safety when you transfer it from professional hands to the hands of the consumer. So energy levels can be kept relatively high, such as in clinics, in the big boxes devices, and safety features, automatic safety features, makes sure that the device in the hands of an untrained user is safe and effective. And for us, RF, we're the world expert in RF. We were actually the first company to introduce RF into home use devices. So I think that speaks for itself. So in our company, we're focusing on innovation. We have several technologies, which are unique technologies. So apart from the tripolar RF that I'm talking about, we branched several more technologies related to RF and several non-related to RF. So for instance, we have a branched technology that's called tripolar multi-RF. What it actually means is that we are able to produce RF in different frequencies simultaneously. And it's important because the depth of the penetration is determined by the frequency. So once you're able to create several frequencies, you're covering more layers of the dermis at the same treatment. So now it's our standard in our devices. Apart from that, we have a DMA technology, stands for dynamic muscle activation. That actually targets the muscles in your face, create them to contract, make them contract and actually become more firm. This way you can actually tone your face. Voluderm, trifractional RF, another technology. Oxygeneo, another great technology of ours for the epidermis oxygenation and exfoliation. So that's on the technology. And on the clinical side, along the years, we managed to establish firm clinical evidence through various studies we've conducted. So just I put here two examples, one of them being a study done with our body device showing a reduction of 2.4 on average on the circumference of thighs. Another one for our face devices showing in 90 to 95% of the patients an average reduction of 41%. So that's almost half in wrinkles, the reduction in wrinkles. So basically, this is significant. So how do we do that? So there's a trick in RF, and that is that you have to maintain, there's kind of a very narrow sweet spot for the temperature range that you have to get the dermis heated to in order to be effective and safe. So multiple studies found that it's between 39 and 42 degrees. Too much heat and you create damage and pain. Too little heat and basically you have a nice warm massager which does nothing. So you have to be in that range. And this is why we're so successful. Because this is thermal camera images. So because of that multi-RF, multi-frequency that I was talking about, we cover the area of the skin in a unified way. And on top of that, we have a sophisticated thermal mapping algorithm. So the device actually measures the temperature during the treatment and adjusts the energy levels according to the specific needs of the specific treatment. And then we are able to manage that range in a unified way, nice, also feels good. You don't have like very hot spots and very cold spots. And we do it faster. So once you start, it starts with a boost of energy, gets you to that level you need, and then it keeps you there. So good things comes in small packages. This is not just a saying. We actually took, so as I told you, we started with professional devices, with the big boxes for clinics, and what we did is we took each device and its great technology and its intended use, and we actually adjusted, miniaturized it, maintained the safety and the effectiveness, and created a nice, small, actually beautiful device that does the same. So we have the pure RF devices for the face and a small one for the eyes area and the delicate areas around the lips. We have our flagship product, the VX Gold, which combines, it's a multifunction device. It combines the RF with the DMA, with the technology that actually tones your muscles. We have the Geneo, which does the exfoliation and oxygenation of the face. And the Pose, which is our body treatment device. So that's our portfolio, which covers basically all of the needs. This is, like I said, our flagship product. It has the thermal mapping. It's actually, the electrodes are 24 karat gold. That is the best conductor, gold, of course. It comes with a gold gel that looks great and actually helps the treatment be much more effective. Let's try the video. Okay, so really a beautiful device, and that's the VX Gold. This is the Desire, so this is a pure RF device. It's a little bit lower price point relatively to the previous one. That one has the latest and greatest of our RF. The only difference is that it is not also a multifunction. So it doesn't come with the DMA for the muscles, but the RF is the same. This one's the RF device for, as I told you, the eye area and the lips, the delicate areas of around the lips. It's a little bit less energy. You have to be safer when you're treating the delicate areas. The Pose VX, a body device, very effective treatments for the thighs, for the stomach area. Also does both the DMA and the RF, so it creates makes the skin look tighter and also works on the muscles. So hopefully by now you understand why our brand is so successful and why it's so unique with our background. But don't listen to me, listen to the numbers. So we see constant growth year over year, 3-digit growth, especially in China and in the East, but globally. Like I said at the beginning, in last year's Double 11, we were ranked #1 anti-aging device for home use in sales, and #3 in the overall anti-aging category. And we work with the #1 KOL in China. Some of you maybe know him, Austin Lee. And last year's Double 11, we did a live streaming event, and we sold with him 110,000 units in 12 minutes. So that's 110,000 units in 12 minutes. This is how it looks.
今天呢，我要邀请到3位同事和我一起参与 Shachar 20天挑战。我到底要看一下20天我们可以改变什么？走喽！伊文姐法令纹比较严重，旺旺脸部线条不够流畅 ，Yuki 有一点点的婴儿肥，下颚线不够清晰。这一款是2020年最新款的 Stop VX 黑钻美容仪器，它集合了 Stop 系列强大的多级射频功能，沿着苹果肌周围打圈。它还有一个 DMA 的功能，迅速提拉我们的下颌线。Stop Eye 美容鼻沿着眼周肌肤去打圈，对于改善我们的眼周细纹、鱼尾纹、眼袋、泪沟都有出色的效果。伊文姐的法令纹非常明显得到了改善，毛孔指数也降低喽。旺旺的整体面部线条更加柔和了 ，Yuki 的下颌线效果很明显，嘟嘟的脸也变得更加精致喽。再加做一个黑科技的护理，这个双11，佳琦推荐你入手初普的 Stop 系列美容仪器，超级划算哦，买它。
Okay, so I don't know if you know Chinese, but you got the juice of it. So really, we work in the best places, and we see tremendous success. On top of that, of course, we're available on international channels, our official website, our official store, mytripolar.com. We work with the Hut Group, with lookfantastic.com, Amazon, Net-a-Porter, many others. And now we're actually starting here. We're starting to write the chapter 1 of the success story in the Middle East. So we're going to be available starting next month in selected Sharaf DG stores and sharaf.com. And we're actually looking for partners here, for distribution partners, and we'll be happy if you partner with us. So if you have any more questions or you want to talk, we're still available today until 6 p.m. on booth A15. And you can contact me directly anytime. Thank you very much.